right now. And the PowerPoint recording will be available on the NOFO website following this session. And I am just going to go ahead and post that website in the chat box right now. So you should see that right now. All microphones should be muted during this presentation, and you can type any questions that you have into the chat box throughout the presentation, and we'll address those questions at the end of this session or on the FAQ page on the NOFO website. So at this point, I'd like to hand over the microphone to Michelle for our presentation.
Hi, everyone. My name is Michelle Velez, and can you go to the next slide, Molly? I'm sorry. Thank you. I work for the Illinois Department of Human Services, Division of Rehabilitation Services, and this presentation today is on a strategy for improving apprenticeship expansion. Next slide. Again, my name is Michelle Velez, and I'm a certified business engagement professional with the state of Illinois and the Department of Human Services, Division of Rehabilitation Services in the Planning and Business Development Unit. I'm also an Air Force veteran. I have a previous work experience in the private sector, and I've been working now in the public sector for 13 years. My current role with DRS, I do employer outreach and partner with employers throughout the state of Illinois to make sure businesses have the workforce they need to keep them competitive, to build a more disability inclusive workplace and match their needs to the interests and abilities of our customers. We work with employers and counselors assisting customers with direct placements into a position earning them a living wage and competitive integrated employment. Next slide. About IDHS, DRS, and our mission. The Illinois Department of Human Services was created in 1997 to provide our state's residents with streamlined access to integrated services, especially those who are striving to move from welfare to work and economic independence, and others who face multiple challenges to self-sufficiency. DRS, which is the Division of Rehabilitation Services, is the state's lead agency serving individuals with disabilities. A common misconception with many people is that they believe DRS only works with individuals with substance abuse issues because of our name. But I want to make sure everybody knows that we work with all individuals with any medically documented disability. Our mission is to work in partnership with people with disabilities and their families to assist them in making informed choices to achieve full community participation through employment, education, and independent living opportunities. We want our customers to feel confident that their goals will be reached. Next slide. Who do we serve? Services at no cost. So not only do we serve our customers, people with disabilities, but we also serve employers as customers. DRS has a variety of services. 3 of the most well-known are home services, vocational rehabilitation services, and the Bureau of Blind Services. With our home services program, the goal is to enable people with disabilities to remain in their home with DRS paying for these services. The criteria is that an individual must be under the age of 60 with a significant disability lasting 12 months or longer, or for the duration of their life, or be at risk of being placed in a nursing home. A few services under the home services program are individual provider services. So customers can choose and hire either a family member, friend, or a homemaker service agency to assist them with household tasks, personal care, and certain healthcare procedures. Oftentimes, a customer can be both a home services and a VR customer. We also provide home health services, which DRS could pay for a CNA, LPN, or RN, and a speech, physical, and/or occupational therapy services. We also can assist with home and external modifications to assist with accessibility needs to enhance customer independence and their health and safety in their home. So for example, if a person recently has a stroke, and let's say all of a sudden they will need to be in a wheelchair and their home is not wheelchair accessible. So DRS could assist with paying for home modifications. So we could assist with having a ramp built so that person would be able to enter and exit their home, or if their bathroom, their bathtub is not accessible, then we could also pay for services to do a modification on the bathroom to make it wheelchair accessible and maybe go from a bathtub to a shower. This process can take a while, so if anyone is ever interested in services, they could inquire with their local DRS office. We could also assist with assistive equipment, purchasing devices or equipment, repairing or renting to help promote independence. A few other services we could provide for home services are electronic home response systems, home delivered meals, adult daycare, respite services, and brain injury services. Now for the vocational rehabilitation services. These services are for people with disabilities that are working age, 16 to 64, with any medically documented disability. There are a variety of VR services, and I'm just going to discuss a few. One is for high school students. VR counselors help customers plan for their future after high school through transition and STEP programs. We have the SEP, which is the Supported Employment Program, assisting those with significant disabilities who want to work and are in need of more support, ongoing support services to help them succeed on the job. This is a service DRS pays community resource providers for, which often includes assistance with resume writing, mock interviews, direct placements and employment, job coaching, and more depending on the customer's needs. My apologies. We also assist with educational services. We could help individuals that are interested in going to school, obtaining a certification or a degree. And we also have employment services, which is my area with my unit. We assist with on-the-job evaluations, which are OJEs and OJTs, on-the-job training, internship opportunities, apprenticeships, and direct placements with partner employers. To share a little bit about OJEs and OJTs, both programs offer employers an incentive or reimbursement of a portion of a customer's wages. These can both assist employers, saving you time posting positions, going through interviews, and the onboarding process, or paying staffing agencies. These can be done for up to 6 months. The on-the-job evaluation program gives customers work experience to build a resume while working and training at a company. Customers can be hired afterwards, not hired, or moved into an OJT program. This provides employers with a way to evaluate one's work without hiring a customer to see if they'll be a good fit for a job, with no hard feelings between both parties. The employer leaves happy with the assistance they needed to fulfill a job, and the customer leaves happy with experience and new skills to add to their resume. With the OJTs, this is a hiring and training program with an intent to hire afterwards. We could also assist in VR with assistive technology, purchasing computers, software programs for visually impaired or blind customers, assist with transportation expenses to school and work, textbooks, glasses, hearing aids, interpreter services for the deaf or hard of hearing on interviews, and help employers with customers with accommodations and any assistive technology that may be needed for the job. A common misconception is that accommodations are costly, but 2/3 of all accommodations cost less than $500 and nearly a quarter of them cost nothing. Reasonable accommodations may include modifying the work schedule, modifying existing equipment or devices, installing new equipment or devices, and modifying how instructions are provided. With the Bureau of Blind Services, they have similar services as the Vocational Rehabilitation Program, but for the blind. They also have the Illinois Center for Rehabilitation and Education in Chicago. This is also known as ICRE Wood. It's a residential center that offers a 12-week vocational and independent skills training program. And individuals can also commute here if they live close by. They also have the BEPB, which is the Business Enterprise Program for the Blind. This program offers management opportunities in the food service industry. Individuals must complete a 6-month training course, and certified graduates will operate vending facilities throughout the state. An example of this would be, if you travel and you ever go to a rest stop, you'll see those vending machines that are out there with food, snacks, and drinks. A lot of those are owned by some of our blind customers for their small business. And some companies also have some of these vending machines. BBS counselors with the Bureau of Blind Services are very knowledgeable and can assist employers interested in learning more about accessibility programs such as JAWS, Zoom Text, or Fusion for the blind or low vision impaired individuals. BBS counselors can also arrange a site visit at no cost to the employer to check out a customer's workspace and see if any accommodations need to be made for the individual or if assistive technology may be needed. Now for our services for employers. We give employers the opportunity to expand their diverse workforce, and we could assist employers with tax credits and incentives, that being the Work Opportunity Tax Credit. Employers could get reimbursed up to $1,500 for an individual working at least 120 hours, but less than 400. And they could also be reimbursed up to $2,400 for a total of 400 hours worked. These are forms that we could assist employers with. We could also assist with getting return to work employees back to work. So for example, if you have an individual that's out of work and on short-term disability, either due to an injury on the job or a long-term employee that recently incurred a disability that doesn't know how they'll be able to come back to work and do their job, you can reach out to your local DRS office and we could have someone go and do an assessment of the workplace and the person's job and see what we could do to assist you with finding either accommodations for that person or assistive technology for them to be able to come back to work and be able to do their job efficiently. We have access to experts on accommodations and technology. You could always reach out to a local DRS office and speak with a counselor. Either the counselors can assist you with questions on accommodations that you may have, or again, we could send someone out from our assistive technology team to go ahead and take a look at the workplace and see what they could do to help you. We also can provide access to disability awareness training. VR funds can also be used, like I said, for accommodations, assistive technology, support services, tools and equipment needed for a job coaches, if you find you have an employee that is in need of more supports, and more for customers in the workplace. Next slide. ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act. The ADA was signed into law on July 26, 1990. The ADA is a comprehensive civil rights law. It prohibits discrimination on the basis of disability in employment, state and local government programs, public accommodations, commercial facilities, transportation, and telecommunications. Next slide. The definition of disability under the ADA. In the context of the ADA, disability is a legal term rather than a medical one. Because of this, the ADA's definition of disability is different from how disability is defined under some laws. The ADA defines a person with a disability as a person who has a physical or mental impairment that substantially limits one or more major life activities. This includes people who have a record of such an impairment, even if they do not currently have a disability, but are regarded as having a disability. Next slide. Not all disabilities are visual. Many times when people think of someone with a disability, we think of someone that is blind, deaf, or has mobility limitations. Here I've listed some of the most common disabilities, which are also called hidden disabilities. These are non-visible disabilities that account for 71% of all individuals with disabilities. Arthritis or other musculoskeletal problems, lung or respiratory problems, heart disease, mental illness, including depression, diabetes, asthma and allergies, stroke, cancer and/or cancer survivors, nervous system disorders, and injuries sustained from accidents. Another one I didn't add on there was is recovery from various addictions. Next slide. This here is a piece from my unit's brochure titled Partnering with Employers. It says, working together, we can build a stronger and more diverse workplace. We know that you are faced with the daily challenge of sourcing qualified applicants. As a business customer of DRS, you gain access to job-ready candidates who are qualified, productive, dependable, and conscientious. The Division of Rehabilitation Services provides solutions for the workforce needs of business customers while preparing talented, qualified job seekers with disabilities for their chosen careers. Our business mission is accomplished by 1, listening for business needs, 2, identifying support opportunities, 3, fulfilling solutions, and 4, evaluating effectiveness. Next slide. Recruit, hire, train, and retain people with disabilities in your organization. People with disabilities are one of the largest minority groups in the country, are the largest untapped talent pool of potential workers, are able to participate and succeed in apprenticeship programs when they're provided with opportunities and support, help organizations build a strong and diverse pipeline of skilled workers, which is critical for companies to grow their business and compete in the global economy, and improve an employer's bottom line by reducing recruiting and training costs because they are productive, capable workers who tend to stay with their employer longer, showing loyalty and appreciation for the opportunity, increasing retention rates. With apprenticeships combining OJT and related classroom instruction with a steady paycheck, apprenticeships offer an ideal solution for Americans with disabilities who are seeking employment and are engaged in employment-related activities. Just below at the asterisk, I have to learn more about people with disabilities and apprenticeships. You can visit this website, spra.com/AIM. This is the apprenticeship inclusion models. The AIM initiative, supported by the Department of Labor's Office of Disability Employment Policy, recently worked together with Amazon, Microsoft, the Healthcare Career Advancement Program, and the Industrial Manufacturing Technician Apprenticeship Program to run apprenticeship pilot programs for people with disabilities. These programs were successful, so to learn more about them, you can check out the AIM resource library for more information on the outcomes. An example from the AIM website was Newport News Shipbuilding has 80% of their participants with disabilities still employed by the company 15 years after completing their apprenticeship. This was a great success. Next slide. One of the most popular incentives that I mentioned previously for employers is the Work Opportunity Tax Credit. If you're not familiar with it, you can go to this link and you can find out more information on the Work Opportunity Tax Credit. Here I provided a copy of the Work Opportunity Tax Credit calculation chart, which shows the minimum and maximum credits that can be received, and it has all the targeted populations listed on here. I'm not sure if this is on the website, but if anyone ever wants to reach out for a copy, I could assist with that. Here, vocational rehabilitation referrals are listed, which I gave previously, up to $1,500 for working at least 120 hours, but under 400, and $2,400 for working at least 400 hours. Next slide. Here I have some stats that I wanted to share that I thought were interesting. 4% of diversity, equity, and inclusion companies consider disability as part of diversity. This is according to the 2020 CDC report. Next slide. Disability impacts all of us. There are 61 million adults in the United States living with a disability. 26% of adults in the United States have some type of disability, so that's 1 in 4. And the percentage of people living with disabilities is highest in the South. This is also according to the 2020 CDC report. Next slide. Here I have some information on the state of Illinois. There are 2,272,298 adults in Illinois with a disability. This is equal to 23%, or 1 in 4 adults in Illinois. That is with a total of 11% with mobility disabilities, 10% with cognition, 6% in independent living, 4% with hearing, 4% with vision, and 3% in self-care. This is another report from the 2020 CDC report. Next slide. SSDI stats. This is Social Security Disability Insurance stats. Here I have on the left, states with low educational attainment generally have high rates of disability receipt. So the first chart shows, or map shows, the percent of each state's resident population age 18 to 64 that receives Social Security disability, SSI, or both, with Illinois being in 5 to 7%. Below that state map is another one that says percent of each state's native-born population, 25 and over, that has completed high school. Illinois is at 89 to 92%. Many SSDI beneficiaries are poor. Poverty rates are about twice as high for SSDI beneficiaries as for others, even including their benefits. Overall, about 1/5 of all disabled worker families are poor. Without SSDI, nearly half would be. So below is a chart that shows disability insurance beneficiaries have high poverty rates. With disability insurance beneficiaries between the ages of 31 to 49, that's at 44%, and the others are at 20%. For ages 60 to 64, that's at 18% for disability insurance beneficiaries, and the others 11%. Next, SSDI benefits are modest. The average disabled worker benefit is about $1,236 a month, and 90% of beneficiaries get less than $2,000 a month. Most beneficiaries, especially unmarried ones, rely on SSDI for most of their income. SSDI benefits replace about half of past earnings for a median beneficiary. And below it just shows a chart with the disability insurance benefits and the amounts received, showing that the average is $1,100 per month, but it can be as low as $200 to $399 for some individuals, and it looks like as high as $2,800 to $2,999 per month. Next slide. So I just wanted to thank everyone for giving me this opportunity to present to you today. If you have general questions regarding disabilities, accommodations, to discuss your workforce needs and apprenticeships, or want to make your workplace more disability inclusive, please call 1-800-843-6154. Or you can also visit us online for more information. We have 47 local offices statewide. And if you go to our website, you can actually do an office locator search and reach out to your local office directly. Please remember, not only are we here for people with disabilities, but for employers too. Feel free to reach out to your local DRS office to share your workforce needs, apprenticeship information, internship opportunities. If you're interested in the OJEs or OJTs that I mentioned, we can also help you with that too. So again, I appreciate your time and hope everyone has a great day. Next slide.
Thank you, Michelle. Hello, everyone. This is Kim Kuchenbrod. I just would like to share a few reminders regarding the NOFO. All questions regarding the NOFO must be submitted in writing to apprenticeship@illinoisworknet.com. These questions will be looked at and viewed daily, with responses going to be posted in the FAQ section of the website. Next slide. Again, if you're looking for more information about the apprenticeship, please bookmark this page. All information, including updates, FAQs, the TA sessions, everything that you will need will be posted on this website. Next slide. We will now open up the chat for any comments or questions at this time regarding working with individuals with disabilities and apprenticeship training programs. We will give you a few minutes to enter any questions that you have. Not seeing any comments come in, we'll go ahead and close out this session. Again, thank you, Michelle, for presenting on disabilities and apprenticeship training programs. After this presentation, should you have any questions, feel free to enter them in writing and we will respond accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you and have a great day.